Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode number 60 on the podcast here. So just to a heads up, we are actually we are recording a few days earlier just because of like a Matt's hectic work schedule going on here.
Yes.
So pretty much tonight was the only night for us to actually
Yeah.
sit down here
Yeah.
and and talk. So if there's like any sort of fucking big news with in the next 3 days, and if we don't talk about it, that's why. So
Yeah. Because right now it is Wednesday evening at 10:19 p.m.
yes,
Uh,
so we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking NFL, UFC 253 reaction. Um, Also going to be giving our thoughts on Clash of Champions, and also previewing NXT Takeover, which is going to be on this Sunday. So Matt, I figured we should probably lead in with some NFL talk here.
yes.
Um,
Yes.
per the usual, a ton happened. What was some what were some
Uh,
of your takeaways here, Matt?
Looking at the big news, at least big games. The Falcons again can't hold a lead.
No.
Just it's unbelievable. They lost 30-26 against the Bears.
Hmm.
Um, what they had, I don't think it was as big of a lead
No.
as the previous week, but if I look real quick, box score, their biggest lead was, give me one, here we go. They had a 26-10 lead after 3, and they did not score another point in the fourth quarter.
Same.
And now they're 0-3, and the Bears are 3-0. And at one point, if you use the ESPN app and they have like that win probability,
Yeah.
at one point, I'm find the highest. Okay, when it was 26-10, Nick Foles pass incomplete, I guess, for the Bears. 2nd and 3 at the Atlanta 3, right? What period is this? 6:24, I think, left in the not left, but last in the fourth, right? Early in the fourth, the Falcons had a 99.3% chance to win that game.
Jesus Christ,
There you
guys.
go. There you go.
I mean,
And just look at the sharp, just graph going to the other side right after that.
my God, like they like are. It's like into like it was just the week prior where they had the that awful choke job against the Cowboys. Just seems like that Atlanta really just cannot catch a break. But some of my takeaways, I'll go straight to like to like Monday night, which that
Oh
was
yeah.
needless to say, I was a little bit surprised, just kind of how like lopsided that the game was. And yeah,
Especially first half.
yeah,
Especially the first half.
and so Baltimore, they did kind of like make it close, but you never really felt that they were actually in the game. I would just stagger just how quickly that the had the Baltimore Ravens abandoned with their running game, and two, they just could not stop Patty, Patty Mahomes, man. Like he
You
just going down on the field at freaking will, and Baltimore's defense just kept on blitzing and blitzing and like just constantly Mahomes would either chuck it downfield or he would get outside of the pocket and just like gash him for like 12, 13, 14 yards. Like it was just that type of game. And if it weren't for that kick return touchdown, it would have been 27-3 at halftime, if they didn't miss a field goal, would they and a extra point, it would have been 31-3 at half. So it's like and you just looked at the total freaking yards, and they held Lamar to under 100 yards passing, which again, and this is something that would that we talked about before the season started, Matt, was if you get this guy who has to come back, this is where he gets exposed because now they are forced to have to pass.
Mm-hmm.
And as we have seen, without that threat of play action, like just Lamar has been exposed, and to this point, when they play really good teams who take away that running game, I mean, it has not it has like not been good.
Yeah.
So I mean, like people were just so gung ho on like Baltimore, and yes, they are very good when they are playing their game, but when they are forced out of that, man, they are
Yeah.
very beatable.
The Chiefs provided a blueprint
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the good teams in the NFL, in AFC in particular, obviously, to try to
Mm-hmm.
copy. Because if you can do, again, what they did and what you said,
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens are not invincible. They're beatable.
No, and they are, and which is why I never understood why in the offseason why everyone was just saying no. Pittsburgh has zero chance against them. I'm like, I think you people are either A, really stupid, or B, are just being really naive here
Like
because
every year,
Mhm.
when the Ravens and Steelers play, maybe with the exception of I don't remember last year
Right,
how they went.
they're always close.
They're always close. It's always anybody's game. It's always turnovers. Comes to field goal kicking, and
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 two,
and,
and
and obviously defense that goes in with turnovers. And
also as well, and I forget someone who said this was like, do you expect with that Pittsburgh Steelers defense to be giving up 150 yards or 200 yards on the ground? I mean,
no,
like, no. And they have guys um with a Cam to it, TJ and like Bud, who can pressure him with those four guys there. So it's like
yeah,
they
the
they present a lot of the issues, which is why I think it was just like I was like, hey guys, I get it. Like they are, and do not get me wrong, Baltimore is still a very good team,
yes,
but
yes,
but but this like freaking notion that they are clearly second best in this conference, I felt was I did not see that. Like to me, it's Kansas City and everyone else right now
mm,
because there is no blueprint to actually stopping that Kansas City offense because man, when they
nobody has done it yet.
no and and someone who kind of did it with the Chargers, yeah, they like
Yeah,
pretty much held them in check for about 3 quarters, but then after that, like sooner or later, Mahomes is going to figure you out and just give you a whole bunch of
it's
freaking headaches.
it's the Undertaker, rising up, sitting up
Hmm.
thing. You think he's down,
Yeah.
but he's never out. Um, I think one last point on the Ravens Steelers.
Hmm.
Obviously, I agree they can contain that run, and it's going to come down to it should come down to Lamar versus the defense. And then again, I don't see. Well, I see our defense pressuring him. The key is if you pressure him and he gets away, can you contain him on the outside and not have him eat up, just get
and that's
big
where
chunks of yards.
a guy in like Devin Bush and like Minka are going to be really crucial because to me
Yeah,
and to this Steelers defense is so fast. It's just they force so many turnovers. Like
yeah,
that's going to be a very interesting game, which is coming up, I believe, on week 7 for now because as like we heard, Matt, be with the Tennessee Titans, who
week 7. Yeah,
unfortunately had a small little outbreak with COVID, which I believe 4 players, I believe, tested positive.
I
Uh,
think so.
it was 4, and I believe 5 other personnel. So basically, Sunday's game that was postponed, and as of currently, the current plan is to have that game on like Monday. I would imagine we'll probably hear something on probably Thursday, and I believe that is what Adam Schefter said. He said
Hmm.
basically they want to with the NFL, they they want another round of like testing be for the
Yeah,
the
which
side.
makes
And
sense, obviously.
yeah, which I was thinking about, Matt. I mean, thankfully, thankfully, this happened on like Monday and not say on like Friday or Saturday because
Yeah,
that
and
would
then
have,
they would have been screwed. There'd been no
yeah,
game.
no, like that would have screwed everything. But
So
thankfully, it was on there.
yeah, I'll say hopefully there's no more positives and we can get a double header for Monday night for
Right.
fans.
I'm kind,
Uh,
and that's kind of what I think is going to happen. So
Because Tuesday, that's a short
yeah,
turnaround for
yeah,
the following week.
I'm
I mean, if
hoping,
there's no other possibility, but
yeah,
they can make it work.
yeah, and I think so too. So I'm hoping, and I'm going to expect that they'll probably happen on that day. But other takeaways before we like move on here, I'm definitely with that Steelers game against Houston. Was a pretty nerve-wracking game if I'm being completely honest. But I will say though, second half, a completely different team. Defense really struggled in the first half. Allowing a ton of big plays, but man, they completely clamped
Yep.
down. Yeah,
I had a feeling. I tweeted this out, and I even said I'm no genius, but I said I had a feeling this game is going to be a tale of two halves for
yep.
the Steelers. Because I didn't think that defense was going to play that poorly all game. Um,
And and put that together with the like Houston Texans inability to stop the
stop the
run,
run. Yeah,
especially
at the
on,
end.
yeah, like like Connor, he was just gashing him. I also felt as well. Ebron, he played very well. Anthony McFarland, I felt played really well in his essentially his debut here. He looked
Hmm.
good. And something else I was thinking about too, Matt. I'm like special teams. We finally have a kick returner.
Right.
We have a kick return, man. Like, I mean, I would put him fully on kick return and like punt right now. I mean, just take DJ off of punt. Like, the kid is crazy talented, but man, it was 3 straight weeks now where he made just some, like, why is he calling a freaking fair catch on the 4 yard line? It just like it was just something every single week. So I would prefer if they would just put like Ray
Yes,
on
right. What a
on
name.
kick return and
Mm.
on punt return. But yeah, a very solid win, and we shall see where things go with
Uh,
Tennessee. Other games too, Matt. Did you catch any of the Cowboys in the Seattle game there?
I caught some. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that was a lot closer than I thought that it probably should have been. I still can't believe that DK Metcalf fumbled that like ball when basically he could have scored a like touchdown, but instead of like fully sprinting in the end zone, he pretty much
I missed that.
let up and one of the Cowboys punched it out, which that could have been a very disastrous thing there, but at the end, Russell Wilson, he's one of probably the like top three quarterbacks
Yeah, I say
in the
top
league.
two right now
Yeah,
this season.
and I would agree with that. Just
He's just throwing up just video game stats right
yeah.
now.
I mean, like, and I would not even completely disagree if someone said that he is right on par with like with Mahomes there.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, no, you can't scoff at that. That
no,
there's legit
there
uh uh
evidence.
evidence of him being number one.
Mhm,
And you can switch back between Mahomes and
right.
uh
Oh, uh,
Wilson.
and Matt, how did Philadelphia tie with the Cincinnati Bengals?
I don't know, but I don't know. They hated. They did not want to score any points, and
It,
that screwed my dad out of some bets.
uh, uh,
You know what the
I
over and you know what the where is it? Where's the score? So I know that you know what the over and under was.
I'm going to say around 45.
It was I think did my dad have the over? Yeah, I think he had the over. So the total score was 46.
Mm,
Would he bet? I think we do this like poll thing. This picks. I won a lot of cash this week, by the way. I'm just gonna throw it out there. This week 3 was good to me. So we do this pick six thing. You pick against the spread or the over and under, and if you get all 6, you win like a good amount of money, or you split with people. And on this website, the over and under was set at 46 and a half, and the total score was
oh.
46. Nobody kicked up. Nobody scored a
Actually,
point in
now
over.
that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I saw like a big cat was probably pretty pissed when, about that there too. So, I mean,
That
I,
over by
how I just don't understand. Like Cincinnati is like one of the five worst teams in football, and if Philadelphia supposedly had playoff aspirations, like you can't even beat them at home. And like I get it, like in the COVID era, like home field really isn't home field, but still, it's just
yeah.
like
Uh,
you can't beat that team. It's just
and 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 to show you how the luck is, well, went for me. So I was going into the Monday night game. In this plot, it had six. One person was already perfect, so they were going to win
mhm,
possibly a good chunk of change because nobody won the week before, so it was going to
right.
be. It was probably going to be 2,000 something, and it was me and somebody else who still were 5 out of 6, and it came down to this Monday night game.
Mhm,
I had the Chiefs plus 3.5, so they had to either lose by at least by 3 or win, and obviously they won. But the other guy, I think, had oh, they had the over, I believe,
mhm.
or something, and I think it was set like 54 and a half, and the
Right.
score was 54. so I won. So I just had to split. So I got the. I'm happy. Let's just say got a good good prize money. So comes down to half of points and game of inches. So yeah, it was a fun week. Week 3. Is there any notable games coming up next week?
Um,
That's
oh
Patriots and
here,
Chiefs.
yeah, that's going to be a really big one.
I think that's like the big one.
And something on the complete opposite side, man. On Thursday Night Football, the Denver
Oh,
Broncos versus the Jets. Oh God, that's gonna be a, ooh, that's that.
I'm just want. I want. Oh, can I
That's
watch that?
that's
I could probably see some of it tomorrow. Oh, as tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, I
um
could probably see. I don't know. I could
um
see some of it. I kind of want to watch it just to see it. It's like the debate.
honestly though, there's not a ton of really good games. I mean, outside of Kansas City and the Patriots, and obviously I'm Steelers and the
Yeah,
Tennessee
the
Titans. I'm
Bill Raiders should be decent.
hmm Those are rare.
Falcons and Packers should be a lot of high
Shootout.
score a shootout. But let's see
hmm
how the Falcons defense hold up if they get a lead. Or substantial.
Or like choke it
Yeah.
away for the third time.
Eagles 49ers a little bit. But for the most part, Saints and Lions could be good. Could be a good game. That's at 1. Chargers Buccaneers. I mean, decent game. That's at 1 too. But the one I have my eye on, that 425 matchup, Patriots and Chiefs. That should be good. So yeah,
We shall see how it
that's nice.
all
Yeah.
transpires. And now we're gonna get into some UFC talk. And before we get into man into UFC 253, we actually have some breaking news here as I am on Z Twitter.
Uh-oh.
Apparently Dana White has sent bout agreements to both Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier to hopefully fight. And I'm praying here that this fight happens because holy shit, this will be tremendous. Obviously, Dustin and Connor fought when they were both at like featherweight. I want to say that was like back in 2012 or 2013. It was a long time ago, and both these guys are just completely different fires. But man, um, I'm very skeptical that this is going to happen, according to and this is like probably per and this is per Dana White. He has sent both of these guys ballot agreements, and and Connor, he has been in the news as of late because actually I believe it was on Saturday where like he leaked a personal messages between him and like Dana White, and where Connor is just basically begging him to get him a freaking fight, and Dana's like, nope, 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 and so pretty much Connor is just really frustrated. He wants to get into a fight here. I'm very skeptical that this is going to exactly happen, just because I'm not sure without any sort of gate here, Matt, that they will be able to come to a like money agreement between Connor and with Poirier. But if this does happen, yeah, this is going to really good this is going to really good numbers here. Hopefully this happens in like November, maybe December. We'll see, but I definitely want to see this fight. How about
Yes.
you?
Anything with Connor at this point is an attraction to me,
Yep, absolutely.
and mostly everybody look at
Mhm.
that when we were at the casino.
It, I mean, like,
a sea of people.
I could not believe how many people were in that freaking thing. It was unreal to say the least. But we shall see how that goes. And talking about this recent UFC pay per view where we saw Israel Adesanya retain his title, and he TKO'd Apollo Costa in, in the second round. And Matt, this was not a good fight. This was a squash, not competitive whatsoever. Like the whole entire fight, Paulo is just like, it's just like, I'm not sure if he's showing off or just like with his antics. Like, just
Yeah.
he was just trying to like basically bait Izzy into coming within his range, and Izzy just kept on kicking that freaking front leg of his numerous times, and like it was funny. Apollo, he would be constantly shaking his head. It was like and it didn't hurt me. I'm like, that is a clear indication that it absolutely did hurt you. So I, I, I mean, I didn't completely expect him to just completely just like run over Costa, but I did feel that as far as this fight was concerned, that Izzy was clearly the better fighter, and was going to win just because of his style, which is going to be very hard for Costa to get within his range. And Izzy's management of his distance, how technical he is, just how cerebral he is. It was just really shown here, and I was, needless to say, I was very impressed. I did not expect him to be that dominant, and of course, like there was a lot of really pissed off people, because I'm not sure if you saw this, Matt, but after he TKO'd Costa, he was air humping him after
I
the yeah
I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot that.
yeah, like and like obviously when Costa saw this, he wasn't too happy, but at the same time too, I was like, dude, you were talking so much shit.
You were taunting your strategy in the octagon was the taunt, pretty
Right.
much. That's
and
all you did.
and to like pretty much to through the whole entire build up for this fight was calling him a phony champion. He's not very good, blah blah blah. I'm like to me, Izzy got in his head. Like just small things that like he did just got him off of his game. Like you could tell too, he was so timid, um, and insecure, and this fight. He had no idea how to approach this, and you could tell with his inexperience here that it really showed. And I was not surprised at all just seeing all of this happen. And this is what happened. But now, as far as he is concerned, Matt, I think there's only one other fresh, fresh, fresh matchup for him. If Jared can't Cannoneer beats Whitaker in like a month, he definitely is a fight. But if not, then there's a little bit of a problem, because then it's like, who is he gonna fight now? Because basically Izzy has beaten everyone um in the weight class, and and as we saw with like John Jones on Twitter, he has been wanting that fight with Izzy for quite some time. And honestly, if Cannoneer does win, I don't think there is a better time for this fight. Jones, as we know, vacated his title. And as far as Izzy's concerned, he doesn't really have anyone else. So I would not mind seeing that. So we'll see how that goes. And just to touch on the co-main, I was very surprised how this fight went, mad. I thought for sure Reyes would have the would have the advantage in this fight with just with his footwork and with his kicks and with his kicks. But man, this was lopsided as well. Was
Hmm.
very surprised just how badly Jan just well he just flat out dominated Reyes and with his kicks with that one body kick where like you saw I think on on his right side Matt of of fucking Reyes a huge mark
Oh man,
on there. It was just it was brutal. And then obviously by I think it was round two, Jan he
yeah,
finishes
436. Yeah,
if he like finishes Reyes in devastating fashion. And yeah, this is the like first time we have had a champion at 205 who is like not named John Jones or Daniel Cormier. So definitely a like new era for that weight class. I do think we're going to be seeing that like title changing hands a lot. So yeah, a pretty exciting card. Um, the but I would say for the rest of it, it was just kind of there.
yeah.
Nothing nothing terribly stood out. So yeah, that was UFC 253. So now Matt, do we want to get into Clash of Champions here?
Yep. Yeah, let's get into the Clash of the Champions pay per view that happened uh last Sunday.
Sunday.
Uh,
Yep.
yep, I believe. Yeah. So we open it up. Uh, well, before I say this, I think the show was booked and great. Um,
Opener and the
Closer, yes, that's
closing
the.
match were the
Those are the
most.
big two takeaways. I
Absolutely.
think I said going into this, um, this would be similar to UFC. Like the mid card, lower card would be there, but the main events would steal the
Yeah.
show. And in this case, the main events or the big matches, being the ladder match and the Roman Reigns
hmm
and Jey Uso, and to a certain extent, you can include Orton and Drew, because that's a championship match. So, to be
Yeah.
fair, in
Yeah.
the ambulance match. Did you see the pre-show match?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, no, it was Nakamura and Cesaro retaining against Lucha House Party. This was originally on the main card, but with uh,
COVID.
COVID stuff and matches got canceled, which in unfortunately, I think it helped the show.
Yeah,
'Cause there was less.
yeah. I don't know about you, Matt. I had zero desire to see like Bailey versus Nikki
Yeah,
Cross. Like I just said, like it really helped out the show, and also to not having with the like women's tag titles on the show either. It really helped out, in my opinion.
yeah. So we open up the show with the ladder match, the triple threat ladder match for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. We had both championships, Zayn's and Hardy's, hanging above, and
Sensational, sensational.
yeah, great match. What scared me going into this match was the stipulation that you had to grab both championships. Because anytime they say
I
like
know.
something
It's
like
like,
that, that's a
oh,
giveaway. Like, oh, something's happening.
shady's gonna
But they
happen.
didn't. But they didn't.
And they
Which was a
had the
good thing.
right person win here too,
Yes,
which like because to
Sami
me,
Zayn.
yeah, to me, Sammy was there was absolutely money be behind him winning. Jeff, he doesn't need any titles at this stage in his career,
He,
and I think
he
it's
doesn't
pretty
need to hold it like now. I mean, he
right.
could have the title, but like it doesn't hurt him not to have it.
And as far as AJ is concerned, I think he's probably is going back over on like Raw here
And and
once
and,
the draft happens.
and
So
he doesn't need it per se right now.
no,
And Sami Zayn is coming back. The before I get to the finish, there was just the one spot with like Jeff, like Sammy was trying to tip the ladder, and Jeff kind of like slid down the front, and but Sammy tossed it anyways, and that fall Hardy took, that he went over the ropes onto the apron, and the ladder kind of, he was in the ladder and kind of like sandwiched in between him. If you remember that,
Mhm.
that was a one fall. That looked, because that just looks sick. I don't know how he didn't die. He did a swanton off a, I guess 20 foot, high foot ladder, a tall ladder outside the ring on the Sammy through a table. It looked like Sammy got a good portion of Jeff.
Yeah, I don't know how freaking Jeff did not kill himself in this match. Which like which we have said a lot
Yes,
about
like
him.
every time he does something.
I swear, like it just, I don't think there's too many more crazier people in him with that Daredevil style of his, man. Like
Yeah,
just a man is just absolutely fearless. Um, but yes, and I mean, like it's no freaking like mistake, man. Anything good on the show is happening over where on Friday night SmackDown. Like
yes,
it is just amazing. Just
night and day.
night and day with the stories. Hell, this story with Sami Zayn is so easy, it's so simple. I'm like, why can't freaking Raw not
I
do
I d-
something like this?
I
I'm just like,
I
you
don't know. It
I
amazes me that
it really does. Like
it's like two different companies.
I can't
Uh,
like this is how big of a freaking difference it is, Matt. I cannot stomach watching Raw, but I will tune in gladly and watch SmackDown every
you
single
know
week.
what SmackDown reminds me, like how it's run, like NXT in a
Yep.
way.
Absolutely.
How there's, I mean, not everything's gonna click, and not everybody's gonna like everything, and that's normal. But
The stories are good. The stories are
but from most of the time, the stories are legit and good,
exactly.
and make somewhat more logical sense, and
Exactly.
the storytelling is great.
Mm.
Um, the the ending of this match, I know we sometimes people complain of the handcuffs, and it seems like we've seen a lot lately of the handcuffs, but this we haven't seen before, and this was creative, and I loved it. Sammy had two handcuffs. One, he handcuffed Hardy's ear, the gauges to a ladder, and then eventually Hardy tried to come in with the ladder at the end, which was pretty neat. And then he tried to handcuff AJ, I think, to a ladder, but ended up handcuffing himself to AJ, and so that that's extra weight AJ can't climb. So at the end, after AJ like beat the crap out of Sammy a little bit, he put him on his back and tried to carry him up. Hardy's in the ring with his ear next to attached to a ladder, but ultimately, I think Jeff and AJ got knocked out, and Sammy had the key to his handcuff in his mouth, took it, unlocked himself where AJ's dealing with Jeff, and climbs the ring, the ring, climbs the ladder, and gets the IC championships, and he is now the undisputed
Mhm.
Intercontinental Championship. Again, like you said in the beginning, the right guy won,
Mhm.
and it made sense.
Right.
You got that heel working, and I think Sammy is like phenomenal in his role since coming back. How he's doing it, and like again makes sense. Like he never lost.
Can't say
Um,
that. Can't say that too often about the main roster. So we will have to savor it. You know.
yeah. So yeah, awesome match. Um, we get into what was supposed to be on the pre-show, but got switched, and I agree with this. I think should have been on the main card, regardless. That's neither here nor there. Selena Vega versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Um, Asuka retained as expected. But the takeaway I got from this match, and then most of us already know, but this was a coming out, if you will, for Selena against Asuka. She looked really good. Because if people didn't follow her before, seeing her wrestle in TNA or Impact,
Mm-hmm.
for those who are just in WWE, saw little glimpses of Selena before, but was mostly just a
Yeah,
manager.
it's just with me, and I'm not criticizing with the actual match. It was good, but it just had a really hard time giving a single crap about this thing. And
No, yeah, no, it's
yeah,
fair. The
yeah,
the 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 story leading up to it, well, wasn't
just
great
it
or lack
didn't make a
thereof.
ton. Yeah, it just didn't make a ton of
Um,
sense to me.
no, that's a great, but
Yeah,
I'm just looking at just strictly in ring work.
yeah, yeah.
Selena really impressed. But again, there was no story going into this.
No.
And they had the Raw after pay per view rematch the
Hmm.
next night with Asuka going over again, and then a
and
little
and,
thing
and
with
and and
Andrade. But
and that's something I freaking hate what they do. Like, why are we booking rematches the night after a pay-per-view? It's like,
they do that way
God,
too much.
it
There's at least one.
at least one every single time. I swear, and it drives me insane. I just something I will never understand. And if there is one thing we cannot criticize about Dynamite, they will never ever and NXT as well. They will never rebook in a match right the night after a
And
takeover
I don't
or a
know.
pay.
I can't remember. I know SmackDown probably has done it, but they don't do it nearly as bad as
Oh
Raw.
no, like Raw, it's like it's just overdone. I'm like, oh,
Um,
but yeah,
yeah. Then we get to Lashley versus Apollo Cruz, which
yeah,
I'm getting over it.
just did not care. We've seen this match about 10,000 times
Or
now.
some form fashion of Apollo
Yes, but
versus her
like,
business
can we get some other challengers for Lashley? Like, you have so many guys
or her
backstage.
business in general.
Right. It just like it can we do something here? Like, it just we're just spinning our freaking wheels here, and
Yes.
just like Vince is just terrible at booking a freaking undercard that is compelling and interesting. It's a major difference between them and NXT and AEW. They at least have very compelling undercards, whereas these, I mean, like, it's just shit.
Raw's the
It's not.
worst of it.
Raw is
SmackDown's
the absolute.
better, but Raw is
SmackDown
just
is better.
yeah.
It is
I
the
don't.
drizzling shits.
Okay, Bruce.
The
Um,
drizzling shits.
then we get another rematch Palooza. Uh, Street Profits beat Andrade and Angel Garza. Well, I didn't catch when it happened live, but Garza got hurt. The ref threw up the X, and it messed up the finish. I guess they had to finish early, and there was I guess Andrade didn't get the message. He kicked out, but the ref counted to three, and the bell rang, and you could just tell it was just they got screwed with injury, and that happened.
I mean, like this match, just reminds you how much just Vince just does not give a single shit about tag team wrestling. Like, is there no other tag teams that we can
There's,
create? Like,
they don't have there's
they
no
don't they don't have any tag teams. Like it's just I do not understand why it is so hard to build a tag team division. Like everywhere else around the road, except for in WWE, just refuses to have
they
any
need to
involvement
the
whatsoever.
all the tag team championships, the men and the women are already cross branded technically, but the SmackDown the tag team championships need to be, I think it should be one and
Yes,
not be cross branded
like
in a
between
current
that
situation.
women's titles too. Like to me, like both. I mean, like on both shows because really, um, on SmackDown it's just Sasha and like Bailey and that's it. Like that's it. After that, because obviously uh, Alexa she's gonna be more involved with the Fiend there. So they really just need to just put these two together and just call it a freaking day because clearly they cannot build two separate divisions on both shows. It's been proven over and over again. So
Um, so we had um
was this
oh
was this Bailey and Bailey's promo here?
yeah, was that yeah, and then Oscar answered. I guess they had
A
nobody. I mean,
complete waste of time.
I guess yeah, they. Oh, yeah, I should never had the match. But they having a match. It probably Oscar was the only like legit person that can come out and face Bailey. Um,
I don't know why they are already doing Sasha versus Bailey. Now, I will say this. If Bailey just beats the absolute crap out of Sasha and Sasha is gone until 2021 where she comes back,
Rumble,
right.
yeah,
But if she wins here, then basically that story with Bailey, in my opinion, at least loses a lot of its
it's
luster there,
yeah,
right?
it's not um uh confirmed they're doing something in Hell in a Cell.
Well, supposedly
Um,
the plan is currently is for them to be like main eventing the show from the last I read, um, which
which
which I believe either Fightful or the Observer reported that. So
which is not crazy. I mean, it almost makes sense, but um,
that is the only way I will be fine with this if
if it
they
main
do
events, I
this
can
at Hell
see
and
if it is in Hell in a Cell and in main events, I think Bailey Bailey needs you can do this. Bailey needs to win. They kicks the like
just
near death of Sasha,
right.
and then you get the redemption at Mania for that, which works.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
that
Like
if
to
that happens, that's perfectly fine because
mhm.
I'm thinking about thinking about this in my head. If you're getting attacked and getting you like just injured neck brace, you kind of want revenge as quick as possible, unless like you're like in a body cast and can't move for like months,
Mhm.
which clearly is not established yet. So you in this match in Hell in a Cell, which this feud, you know, works in Hell in a Cell. But if Bailey, is the champion, which she should hold at the to Mania. I mean, I don't see why not. Or if it really doesn't need, well, maybe it does, storyline wise. But I think they can get away with it not being for a title. But then, like I said, Bailey wins, destroys Sasha. She's out for extended period of time, wins the Rumble. If you're doing it for a title at Mania, and then you get that, you have that, you get that first match, and then you build that anticipation for that rematch at WrestleMania. Sasha gets the win, and if there's people, they go nuts.
Let's hope so.
And I want to real quick to kind of go. There was a Heyman interview. I don't know when he was talking about. It was like Inside the Ropes. I was watching it on YouTube. I watched it again a couple days ago, talking about Brock and Goldberg when Goldberg was at SummerSlam, like surprised and beat Lesnar. And his explanation for this, I know it made sense to
Unlike
me. This
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series, sorry, one of the S's. Do that and surprise, and then goes, you build. We saved the rematch all the way. You have to wait to WrestleMania. You build anticipation. He goes, that's box office. You sell tickets. And I'm summarizing, obviously. And to me, I'm thinking that same situation here in some way. You have, it's not obviously the same, right? You have, again, Bailey beat Sasha, but you want Sasha to beat Bailey. You want Sasha to get her revenge. She doesn't. So you wait all the way to Mania on the big stage, almost 6 months or so, half a year, let's just call it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you build that anticipation. She comes back at the Rumble as a surprise entrant, and you win it. I think that's a good story to tell right there. But if Sasha Banks wins at Hell in a Cell, if they have this match,
Yeah, and to me, at that point, this whole feud is completely dead. At that point,
not that, since she's basically should be in a body cast, basically hurt.
right, exactly. It just
And
it would
not
make
selling the damn.
it would make no sense for her to win, especially inside Hell and Cell. Like, no. But all right, let's So then after this was it Orton and McIntyre here?
Ambulance match. Yeah,
I will say this: it was a like very fun match, although it was overbooked to hell. And in my opinion, Matt, it didn't exactly help him Drew. If anything,
no.
it
Okay,
made
go ahead.
it made Orton look like a freaking monster, but also at the same time, like the and from my perception what was like, if it wasn't for guys like Big Show, um like HBK and like Christian, like he definitely loses. So I feel like if like Drew was a like heel here, this absolutely works. Like it's fine, but as
I'm
a baby face, yeah.
I'm gonna slightly disagree. Still disagreeing with you because I listened to other people talk about this and it made sense. I think like Raj Giri and them were talking about this. It was okay because the outside interference. Well, story it made sense, but their interference didn't directly like immediately go to the finish. It wasn't like
Mhm.
Eddie came out, all three came out, beat Randy Orton, then Drew did it. There was like a time gap in between each, especially from the last one from Sean to Drew getting the victory. So it wasn't like sweet chin music. Sean tosses him in, and Drew won. If that was the case, then I'm 100% on board with you. but with the time gap between Sean and because Orton did some stuff after that, if I'm not
He did.
mistaken. So,
But something else I didn't understand was like when HBK super kicked Orton off of that ambulance, like he should be out at that point. Like, wouldn't you agree with that? Like the fact that he kept on fighting afterwards, I'm not sure if that really should have happened there, you know?
I don't know how he got out of what he fell into.
Right. I'm just like
That was my that was a
I
question mark there.
I was just like,
But
what?
in terms of, but yeah, okay. But in terms of like making Drew look, I don't think so.
I mean, do not get me wrong. He came off like a tough SOB here, and a very and a very vicious one at that. But as we saw on Raw, this feud is still continuing. Why? I don't know after a freaking ambulance match, but it looks like we're
well,
probably
it's gonna be
right.
hell. It's hell. I mean, it's
Hell
yeah,
in a cell
because
here.
when somebody when the Hell in the Cell pay per view comes up and somebody references hell in a promo,
Mhm.
I mean that's obvious that this match is gonna be in it. I did think the same. I just think the same thing with it's still going on, but I guess they don't
Um,
have
yeah, and the only way I'm
anybody
thinking
else.
yeah, the only way I'm thinking that they're having this match here is like Orton has to go over here, right? He has to,
I,
right?
I would think so.
Like otherwise, I don't see what the point of this match is here. So,
I would think,
as we
but yeah, I would. You would think he would have to
he
at
has
this
to win
point.
here. Like it's just yeah, but
Yeah.
we shall see what happens with that. But
And
now
then
the
I don't know who is ranking this match. Only 3 stars. They are
well,
uh,
if we're talking about our tribal chief, this was a
yes,
fucking 5-star match. This was my favorite match of 2020. Like
only segment. Yeah.
like take all of your freaking star ratings bullshit. Like take that elsewhere. This was just a masterpiece of storytelling here, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I am just blown away. First of all, how how much of a complete performer that now Roman Reigns is now, Matt. Like it's like just a small thing he was doing in this match, like, and it wasn't even anything from his actual actual move set here. It was just him just like constantly talking shit the whole entire match.
Oh, it was great.
Him scaring the hell out out of out of um out of little Nate there. I mean,
Yeah,
it
like
just
get out of my
just
family. Get out of my family business or whatever he said.
yeah, and just seeing like first of all that opening video package between him and Jay and just showing the whole NY family that was awesome. Like that was top notch right there. That was excellent. That I mean, like, and just like, and two, in my opinion, Matt, Jay he came out of this really well because he never gave up. He he never quit. He never wavered. It's just Roman just kept on beating him up. It took his twin to calm down and say and throw in the towel and
Hmm.
basically tell Roman, "You are the tribal chief. You are the
Yeah,
tribal chief,"
just to
and
stop the pain. Yeah,
just to
and
stop
then
it.
and then another thing. It was a nice touch right at the end. It did. I didn't like the traditions and the Samoan heritage that if you wear a like the lei Jay was wearing, I think if you like wear that, you take somebody's like lei their stuff and you wear it, that's like sacrilege in like their tradition apparently.
Mm,
So
I did not know that, huh?
I think
I can only imagine. I can only imagine that Jay is going to be really pissed off when we see him on SmackDown
yeah, I think that's
because
was yeah. So that's a nice touch at the end for Roman and that whole tribal
be-
chief thing. It was
right
just you
and
feel
just
some emotions.
and now like this has so much potential because now and you could eventually look at this to a potential WrestleMania match against The Rock if you just
Potentially,
have
yes.
him just take out every Samoan imaginable, just like have a have
You
like Roman spear like Rikishi, have him beat up a like banged up Jimmy Uso, just anyone
you think yeah, it would seem logical that Rikishi is making an appearance in some form or fashion
has
on a
to
SmackDown.
has to.
Um,
Like to me, I'm like this is by far the most I've ever have been invested in Roman
I
Reigns and I was
I look forward to Fridays
yeah
just for what they do for with Roman and
and
Alexa.
and again I ask why the fuck did we not turn this guy heel so long ago? This is what the fans have been asking for because they knew like like this is just it's such
And
as as someone would say this is such good shit like
and then if, and if you're looking at the
amazing.
people on the at home, they're I mean legit or not, they're booing him or at least the
Hmm.
thumbs down.
Right.
This would have been good to see. Again, this was a perfect match. And I wish it was a crowd
Oh
because you would
yeah,
see that the emotion from the crowd, especially at that end.
absolutely.
You know, you would get the classic like shocked faces and the sad faces
Hmm.
from the crowd that people you sit at home and you laugh at like, oh come on, it's not real, but like, but if you like just
I
take it
could
at
see
face
that.
value, it adds so much. Like those visuals,
Hmm.
if you just take it, if you watch it as a story, the visuals
Hmm.
are just great. And this was just great.
And to just seeing the absolute remorselessness, viciousness out of Roman, which is just such an awesome sight to see. Like, because we never, I mean, even as a babyface, and like he would kick ass, uh, I mean, just seeing just how cold and pissed off, and
He's
just
just a badass.
he's just a badass, and like this is going to eventually get him over as a babyface. Like it's going to be at a certain point once he's finished with this Samoan stuff here, which we're definitely leading to a feud with him and the Fiend. I'm very interested to see how that's going to come off with Alexa probably involved with that
Yeah,
because
I
yeah.
I'm interested. Yeah, there's no need to. I I I I can take the Samoan storyline in the family
Mhm,
for a little bit because it's good. I mean, it's natural stuff. They're
mhm,
telling a good story. There's so much there that this can go for a little bit in some form or fashion. I'm
mhm,
perfectly fine if we get this. They obviously did the tease with Alexa
mhm,
giving the death stare to Roman.
mhm,
Um, I'm fine with just having that, just little hints of that feud, and just holding off
mhm.
until down the road. When the after the Alexa turn or whatever is complete, or the alignment with the Fiend.
I would
Uh,
imagine that's probably is happening. It's probably happening this week. I would be
or
surprised. I would be
yeah,
surprised if it's not.
I
So
would. It'd be nice to give the Fiend some like, I don't know who or what.
well,
Maybe I
and
doubt they were an intermittent feud in between him and Roman, but or you just keep him,
yeah, honestly,
you keep him on the show without him being on the show, and that's what they're doing with
I would
Alexa.
I would actually save him versus Roman probably for Survivor Series. Honestly, I
Yeah, I mean,
it's a
That
big
I'm
four. It's a big four pay-per-view, and that is a pretty big feud there. It's pretty it's pretty fresh now on top of it because I believe that we've
in
never
this form, yes.
in this form. So I would actually save that for Survivor Series, but I have a feeling they're probably are going to be doing this at Hell in a Cell here.
I don't, nah, I don't know. I think
Mhm,
the Samoan stuff is too um s- still young. I
mhm.
think you can get away with one more Samoan thing at Hell in a Cell, uh,
Which I will not
another J, one of the
complain about.
Usos. Like I I think this feud almost needs it.
Mhm.
It can need it. Maybe not. Maybe not. But anyways, I think you get another one because you need another one. Like I,
And something
you
else too,
can't
Matt.
leave it here.
And something else I was thinking about too. I think we could definitely see a Samoa Joe versus Reigns feud as well because as we know Samoa Joe he's also Samoan obviously.
Yeah, and
So I could
he
like
can possibly be
those promos
drafted.
alone those promos alone are gonna be like fire, like holy
Like
shit.
I can. It'd be nice if somehow, say that I kind of want to hold off that fiend, but I don't know how long you can hold it off. Like I don't know if you can hold off to like a rumble or something. Because that's obviously another big pay per view. Just you have the rumble match and Reigns and the Fiend headlining that just alone is worth the price of admission if done right. Well, the rumble match itself, but I mean, I think that's as long as you can do it. I doubt they will, but we'll see. But if you have a Roman Reigns Samoa Joe feud, like that is just going to be just a hard hitting. Like I insert another adjective.
Intensity,
You know, oh my
intensity,
god, the
intensity.
just the trash talking and the like you said the promos, the trash talking in the ring and just the physicality. Like
Um, bad assery as
bad, it two badasses and Samoa Joe is more being on commentary is more face like right now, and that's
Mhm,
easily. But he's a badass face.
mhm,
Roman's a badass heel.
mhm.
They're not like related and the same bloodline, but like they're obviously Samoan, and
Yeah, there's Simone.
they can play with that and not
Mhm,
the Samoan legacy and just
mhm.
stuff like that. If this were to happen, if somehow Joe went to SmackDown, if he got
which
drafted,
which definitely I think they have to do that. I mean, like it just makes way too much sense. So yeah,
oh,
as
now I want to see that, and now my hopes are up. And if we don't get it, I'm going to be upset.
so as you can tell, guys, we are very excited about SmackDown. Uh, uh,
Yes,
I'm like I'm I'm fuck Raw, but definitely SmackDown 100% baby face on SmackDown right now.
yes.
So lastly for this podcast, we're going to be previewing NXT Takeover, which is happening this Sunday, um, um for Sunday, and I saw the whole entire card before we started recording. Yeah, this is definitely, at least on paper, I think is one of the better takeover cards in quite some time. Um,
I
I
feel like
think
I feel like we say that about everyone. It seems
no, because I would say like for the SummerSlam one, I was excited, but I didn't feel like that every single match.
that's true.
Uh,
Well,
but
okay,
but
for the most
but
part,
but this
it just
one,
seems like every time it's like, oh, this is great. Oh, this is great. Oh, this
every
is great.
every single match so on this
Yes,
card is like that. It should be at least very good.
and
Like
yeah, at the very least, very yeah.
at the
The
very least
worst,
very good.
very good.
Exactly. There is no excuse. Just the people who they have in these matches is there's a lot of potential. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, so
So we'll go. I guess predictions.
mhm.
So we'll start with There's 5 matches on the card here. We're going to start with Kushida and Velveteen Dream.
Zero excuse whatsoever why Kushida should not win this match. Dream,
Oh,
Dream. I just don't want. Honestly, I just don't want to even see him on TV right now. But in this position, I feel like they need to start to book Kushida a little bit more seriously now. I've
and
been
they
craving,
have lately
yeah, and
with
and
this
I
more vicious side.
right, and to me, he's a potential title contender
Mm-hmm.
down the line. It's time to start to build him up, and definitely him beating beating
Yeah,
beating him Dream is a good
Dream.
first
Yeah,
step.
Dream is cost him the gauntlet match last week.
Hmm.
Getting the best of him. Kushida is getting this mean streak in him. So
Right.
logically, Kushida gets his revenge at Takeover. Again, will be a phenomenal match.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say that for all of them. Uh, but I think Kushida gets a win. And we're slowly, building him up in contention in contention down the line. Next, we have the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar defending against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Um,
I think we should probably get a title change here, Matt.
yeah, I feel that.
I mean, like, unless if Isaiah Swerve Scott does and win here, then I just don't understand why this thing would even happen here. Obviously these guys have been like feuding over for a few months now. I think
Hmm.
it's time. We should get a new
Yeah,
cruiserweight
and
champion here.
they had a good split screen face off thing
Yeah.
interview. They're talking about. They brought up, or Swerve brought up that is he going to actually ask Escobar go be by himself and he'll help. So that's the thing going into this. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking Swerve is going to win. Again,
Yeah.
these cruiserweight matches are always fantastic.
Mhm.
I always say week in and week out when
Oh,
he's on my screen, Santos Escobar is money. He looks like $1 million.
oh, and something that I didn't think about as well. Is this show going to be happening in the Thunderdome?
I don't know. I was going to ask that. There
I
were
think it
rumors
is
about that.
because
I
because
hope so. It should.
because I think Triple H said that the presentation would be like unlike anything else on NXT. So I gotta think
I'm
this
gonna
is
assume it's Thunderdome.
has to
It has to be.
finally, but yeah, okay. So
Um,
then,
I
yeah,
yeah, again, I love Santos Escobar. I was gonna tweet out and I didn't do it. Is it no offense to Andrade, but Santos. If I wish Santos was like in the same, not same boat storyline wise, but what Andrade should be on Raw. The only thing holding Andrade back is his ability to speak like English, good English. That's why Selena Vega was so good.
it's a major difference
Yeah,
between
because he
him
caught the
and
promo on
Escobar. Yeah.
Raw, and it. I mean, it's not his fault he can't speak English well. It doesn't work. It's not like an Oscar when she can get away from just yelling at somebody in Japanese, and it's just good. Andrade trying to speak broken English, it was hard to understand. But Escobar, he can fluently in both. He just has the look, like he just looks like a star
Oh,
in that cruiserweight division.
who do you think is the person behind these behind these
People were
behind these
saying Bo
opinions?
Dallas. Um, I don't know. I don't
Ember
think it's a
Moon,
woman.
Ember
Yeah,
Moon.
I
I
don't think it's a
heard.
woman. I don't know if it's a woman because if they were showing they picked up like a flyer for Takeover. I think it was just the men. Uh,
I think I also heard like Jordan Devlin's name as a possibility as well. Um,
that would be a I'm sorry, that would be a letdown from
Mhm.
me.
Um,
Um,
and like honestly, as far as like Bo Dallas is concerned, just okay.
Depending on how they package him,
Mhm.
um, because I forgot he existed on the main roster,
Yeah.
and he was good when he was originally in NXT.
Mhm.
He was
It was actually
over.
over. Yeah, he was actually over.
Yeah. I don't I don't know who else I can buy driving a motorcycle and being like a hacker type.
Honestly,
Um,
I don't think he really fits that either. Like that
I
just
don't unless they like just completely
yeah.
change it. I
Um,
really don't know who, because it's obviously not like Joe because it doesn't look anything like him. Um, I'm trying to think if
Aleister
anybody.
Black.
No, because he's kind of in this thing with
Oh yeah, that's
Kevin
right.
Owens.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
No, well,
I don't know. That's
we'll
why I'm
find out.
interested to see like how this mystery person
Hmm.
plays out in this show.
Yeah,
But okay, moving on to NXT North American Championship, Damian Priest defending against Johnny Gargano.
yeah. I definitely think we're going to be disagreeing between this and what the women's matches, but I don't see a title change here.
Oh,
I
we
think
agree.
it's way too soon
Yeah,
for Damian Priest. And like there hasn't really been a, a like actual story um behind this. Yeah, like they kind of had some i- interaction this week, but
yeah,
I don't think it really warrants having a like new champion here. So yeah, it should be a phenomenal match, but
right. Yeah,
I don't think that there should be a new champion here
yeah,
though.
yeah. Not with Priest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have again go with Priest. And the match that I would think could see a title change with some funny business is Io Shirai and Candice. Um,
Yeah, for
this has to
me,
me has the best chance of a change.
um,
Um,
I don't see it. Mainly because in kind of similar with like with like Johnny and Damian Priest, hasn't been too much story behind this. It was kind of thrown together.
yeah, can't like Candice did something to win, and the
Right.
only reason why I say a title change
Mhm.
that I think, depending on what's in my head, placement of the this match. But the reason why I say it is if Johnny and Candice are talking about being a power couple and holding the titles, and they've been doing this for a while, and they finally on the have title matches on the same night, if it doesn't happen, and they've been
It's
talking
never
about
gonna
this
happen.
since they turn heel, then that kind of just discredits their credibility.
But
It's
but at the same time too, I think it is to a certain degree is some hot shotting it as well because it just I just don't think it's like because there's not enough like something with these feuds right now that I mean like I can buy Candace like just by absolute cheap tactics.
I I
I can buy that, but
I
Johnny,
yeah.
I'm like
I know
it
I don't buy Johnny winning.
oh yeah, yeah.
I see Candice
Mhm,
having the championship and Johnny not having the championship, and that how that dynamic plays out there
mhm.
and that story. Again, I say Candice has a better chance of winning just because comparatively champions Priest is new. Io has had it for a good bit. Um,
Actually,
I think
I think she's only held it since what June or July actually,
well,
which you think
it's longer
is a
than
long,
Damian
yeah,
Priest.
yeah, well,
It feels
obviously,
long.
yeah, yeah,
I thought it was longer, but
yeah.
I think, in my opinion, more things are are better suited for a new champion in this match than North American Championship. Will they do it? I don't know. But I think if all the championships, well, besides beside the cruiserweight, the three main ones, I think this has the better chance of changing. I'm still torn, yes,
We'll
but
see.
I'm for just to pick the upset. I'll go with Candice, but with the understanding that I'm not confident at all.
Yeah, I'm sticking with
Yeah,
EO here. So
my brain says like I'm torn, but I'm my own booking in my head is like screwing with me. Then we get the NXT Championship: Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly of Undisputed Era. I
yeah,
would go back and when you watch NXT, this face off between the two, it was like pre-recorded
hmm
with Shawn Michaels, and I think these two, I think that was an excellent segment this past Wednesday uh, between the two of the talking. It seemed real, and between when they were saying their thing, but they're stirring the pot on the Kyle
undisputed.
O'Reilly
Yeah, undisputed.
Cole feud. You can just tell that there's stuff being planted.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, this is why I think happened. I think Cole and O'Reilly are going to be breaking away from the undisputed era and turning completely babyface, which they kind of have already. But I just don't think they're going to be really associated with them anymore. As much. Um, and and wasn't something happening with Austin Theory too?
um, um, Theory uh, cut a promo backstage, something on Kyle O'Reilly saying that I think Theory it should be like him. I think he deserves a spot too or whatever. Something I forget. And then Cole came out and was said something. Excuse me, along the lines of Undisputed Era came in. They were great. They were unstoppable. They held all the titles, and then they didn't. And then people were questioning whether they were the same UE. And he was like, "That's like now that's not like not true. We're just as good as we always have been." And then turned it on Austin Theory, saying, pretty much, "How dare you like talk about O'Reilly like that?" I'm obviously paraphrasing. And then Austin Theory came out and basically led to a match, and Cole won. And at the end, he kind of, you know, he was on the ropes, laying on the ropes, and turns to the camera and says, "Kyle O'Reilly's going to shock people on Sunday, but he will never shock me," or something, or that won't shock me. So I don't know. People are thinking maybe there's a feud between the two. Cole turns on O'Reilly
Yeah, like people were. I
because
mean, I wouldn't be mad, if O'Reilly beat Finn, and then after the match, like kind of like Cole, he would e- ev- e- evolution
yeah,
um
or if
O'Reilly.
Cole cost them the match, one of the
Right,
two.
right.
I just
But
don't want to see, even though it is Balor, I don't want to see him lose that quick.
and
Um,
I don't see that happening. It's far too soon, and
yeah, it's too soon.
and that title has been has been a freaking hot potato for far too long. We need to have a stellar champion at least until WrestleMania, or at least until they finally
Well,
do.
I don't know if it's I don't think it was hot potato too long. I think there was again Karrion Cross injury screwed everything up.
Adam Cole, Keith Lee, Karrion Cross, and obviously
Yeah,
now.
but and I don't think it was too long. I think Adam Cole had it long, and Lee, and then
Well, yeah,
Cross was probably going to hold it for a long time, and then that screwed it up, and now we got 4. So
I mean, like that's still though a lot of people that it's
yeah,
gone through, and I think you
I
need
just didn't like the
to,
verbiage.
yeah. So, so yeah, that is NXT Takeover. Are we planning on doing a like live stream for that on Sunday?
We can.
All right.
I would love to.
Okay. Yeah. So we will be doing our first live stream in what feels like forever, but
Forever,
yeah,
because my schedule is
work.
lighter after this week. I think we can have a
Wrestling podcast
somewhat
style.
similar, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause I'm
good.
not doing anything Thursday. I would have to. Yeah, I think we could make Thursday a live stream Thursday work.
Hmm.
We can record the podcast on the Friday, so next week should be normal. The week after that, not so much, but we can return to some normalcy next week.
Okay, sounds good. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in as always. As you guys all know, we have the podcast every Saturday at 3 or like on 3:15
Because for
Eastern.
some reason YouTube, when I upload, select the time, it only gives quarter, like 15, like 3:15, 4:15, or whatever. I'm like, why? It doesn't do it for anything else. Another account I use, I don't know what happened. So I'm just scratching my freaking head.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
3:15. Let's go with 3:15.
so yeah, as always, follow our Twitter page. We are there every single Wednesday tweeting like Dynamite and NXT, and also pretty much on every like a major UFC pay-per-view. I will, and you guys will probably have already have seen this, but I was tweeting during Bellator on Thursday night because if you saw what that Thursday night football game is coming up, ew. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and we shall see you for the next podcast. So for Matt and for John, we shall see you later.